Sure, as you can probably tell, and as Cindy introduced, I'm not Ellen Richard. Some of you who thought you were listening to Ellen, I apologize. I'm Jerome LaValle, the president and co-founder of EnlightenNet. We've been doing document management solutions into the industrial distribution space for 18 years. That tells you how old I am. The 10 years before that, I still worked in fluid power at an ERP solution that's no longer around. It was acquired by Profit 21. So for 25 years or so, I've been working with companies just like yours to do all sorts of technology, but the majority of that is this document management space. So today we're going to talk about digital transformation and why the future is digital and some of the tools you should embrace as you make that transition to digital. We're going to talk about tools that'll help you in your P21 system improve productivity, ultimately your profit and cash flow. Let's see. And before there we go, I just misclicked. Apparently I'm not good at that. So the new normal. Today, the top priorities for business leaders around the world are optimizing cash flow. You need to be able to build a bottom line to withstand economic uncertainty. We all learned quickly what that means a few years ago. I don't need to go into that. Promoting workspace flexibility and having the robust business continuity tools and strategies. That's the same. We all quickly learned that you can't rely on people to be in the office, and you need tools and solutions that will be flexible with that. And you need to build more resilient supply chains to maintain and improve relationships with customers, suppliers, and be able to keep up with demand fluctuations and supply chain issues. So let's talk about some of the steps you can take within your business that will speak to and reinforce these business priorities. Let's start off with paper is not your friend. For all the reasons I just mentioned before, specifically the flexibility, paper isn't going to work for you. But a recent McKinsey study indicates that more than 60% of CEOs restructured their organization in response to the pandemic. And many plan to continue to adapt in the years to come. Industry experts say if there is ever a specific time to reallocate resources towards business technology, this is it, especially towards projects that improve your productivity. You probably already know that. That's why you're on this webinar today. What adaptations do you make that will have a positive impact? How to make a positive impact with little disruption. That's important. Let's start with a small change that you can make that will have an immediate positive impact and very minimal disruption. And that's getting rid of paper. Today, electronic media aids most of our personal communications, but many distributors are still working with paper copies of their documents and then filing and storing them. I saw you, those 5 or 6 people who said you use filing cabinets. In some cases, companies are receiving their documents electronically by email and then printing them out. They started in electronic format, and now you're generating paper that needs to be pushed around the office and put in filing cabinets. This creates extra work, eats into the time of that your staff has, which in turn adds to your processing and operating costs. This is especially significant because personnel costs are usually the most expensive component of any company's operation. We're entering a new normal, one that's increasingly technology and data driven, and paper-based processes are simply not capable of keeping up. A vast majority of distribution professionals surveyed believe that using paper-based processes leads to a significant negative impact on their business, such as lost documents, compliance issues, slow customer service, lack of oversight. I think employee frustration here is underrated. I think we don't talk about that enough. I hear customers every day talking about having a hard time bringing on new employees and teaching them old processes. So your employees want to be efficient. They don't want to be stuck doing slow manual work. Every company that deals with any kind of paper needs a document management system. Obviously, the filing cabinet is a form of document management. I just would argue it's not an effective form of document management. The ability to streamline all your work documents and have a smooth document workflow can do wonders for your business. Having the right information at the right time will allow your employees to do their jobs efficiently, thereby providing you with a competitive advantage over other companies still stuck with the old filing systems. Document management brings with it the advantage of consuming less paper, utilizing less equipment, reducing carbon emissions, and freeing up that storage space. We hear that one a lot. My building is full, I don't want to move or add on. Can I get rid of these filing cabinets and take that space back? Here are some key considerations when choosing a document management system. Number one, user friendliness should come first. Think about the technical abilities of your employees and who will use the software. If you're looking at an application that has great features, but it will be difficult for your team to learn, you may want to find something simpler that they'll actually use. Remember, involve the people from the various departments when evaluating options. You may not think today that the purchasing group is going to use it very much, but they might down the road. So it's important to get their feedback early on in the process. And just because the IT team thinks that the system is simple and easy to use, doesn't mean the back office or front office staff feels the same way. Software should do the work for you. You don't want you're not trying to shift your old paper-based process to electronic and still do that same manual process. Although there are benefits to that too, if your company's not ready. Getting rid of the paper is phase one. But really, look for a tool that will do the job for you. More things. How to pick a vendor. Choose a vendor with industry expertise. Well, of course, I said that because we have that industry expertise. But who makes that software? Do they have good reviews? What is their reputation for customer service? How often are updates to the software made? You can have great service, you can have great software, but without great customer support to support that software, it's a moot point. Every software is too complicated today for anybody to be an expert on all the packages they have. Most of the people in this call are having to learn Profit 21, a CRM system, payable systems, you name it. You can't be expected to be an expert in all of them. You need to be able to rely on customer service from that vendor to help you out and get you going. It's important to prioritize data security these days. I hear this question 10 times a day. Is my data secure? How and where is it stored? Can I control who has access to it? What are my deployment options? Most people want to move to our cloud, and that's what we're going to talk about the majority of the time today. But we do have some companies who are still a little bit old school and want their data. They're going to have their server in a closet and presumably a locked closet. Integration. Look for appropriate integration capabilities. It's a common question for us too. How do you integrate with Profit 21? And we have various integration pieces we'll talk about along the way. But one of the things that comes along often is document linking into Profit 21. We've heard this for years, and we are happy to say that we will be releasing a document linking tool directly into Profit 21 in Q1. But what is it you want to link? Does it actually perform that positive function for you? Or are you saying that because DocStar says, hey, we do the linking automatically, and now you're trying to figure out, does someone else do that same thing, rather than do you need that capability? In our case, we'll be able to answer, we can do the same thing, even if you don't really need that capability. Once linked, the ability to quickly retrieve documents related to that is key, whether it's a customer order, a purchase order, the invoice, the receiving documents. All those documents should be stored in one place and easy to retrieve quickly, all in one shot. Will you need your document management system to integrate with other applications that you're already using or plan to utilize? P21 isn't the only application in your building. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to all of us today. What about scalability? What's going to grow with you? As you plan for your business growth, will the software be able to grow? Is your document management tied only to your ERP system? Are you always going to be on Prop 21? In a lot of cases, yes, but don't need to be tied down to that by choosing an ERP system that's, a document management system that's ERP agnostic. Oh, why did I mute myself? Okay. Consider the transition to the cloud. Let's talk about the cloud for a few minutes. Choosing a cloud solution provides business continuity. Suddenly your employees can't come into the office from whether it's a lockdown or they're sick or a natural disaster. The business can keep running. The documents are in the cloud. Specifically, that what we're going to talk about today is your invoices are accessible, so your AP team can access them. We're also going to talk about your CSRs and actually accessing customer orders that are coming in from the cloud, being able to see them and view them from anywhere. Disaster recovery doesn't just have to be your building being inaccessible. Maybe there's a whole area that's unreachable. Moving to the cloud makes that more resilient. At the same time, it allows security and reducing the risk because other experts are worrying about all of those problems for you. Business documents need to be secure. And the good news is that all our cloud services, whether you go with ours or someone else's, are very secure. We do this all day, every day. That's what we probably spend more time than we really want to, is making sure that your documents are available only to you, not to your competitors, not to the hackers in China or Russia, who are banging on every door every day, including your own. Don't think that just because you put that server in your closet that they're not going to try to find it. They will. But behind most of our systems, cloud services are provided by major companies like Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. And those companies spend far more money than any of us ever could ensuring security and reliability. Robust backups. Unlike an in-house solution, we back up the documents multiple times a day, have different copies kept different parts of the country. So we can help you recover. If there is an issue just with your data, we can help get that data back quickly and easily. Where if you were doing this on your own, you'd need to, get the backup tape someplace else or back up to a different cloud provider. And low maintenance. Cloud solutions are not just a server in the cloud. Cloud solutions offer all sorts of different options. We take over a lot of the heavy lift. That's why this woman is supposed to be actually lifting the cloud in the slide in front of you. We do the heavy work, we do the updates, we do the security, we do the backup. Focus on some collaborative features. How can the software help my company with better internal communications? Well, rather than have to call to one AP person and ask them to, hey, do you have the invoice for Acme Company? And it's on their desk, and then they have to walk around or scan it in and email it to you. Just go in and look for it yourself. You can retrieve it all together. If you're in one office, you might think that's no big deal. I can walk out of my office and look through the file cabinet. But the second you have two locations, that's no longer feasible for everyone in the organization. Let's see. Be sure the software aligns with your desired business benefits. Not all document management systems are created equal, so you need to understand what the capabilities of each one of them are. Sure, the overall objective is the same, digital storage and access to records, and at a high level, most of the tools are the same. The details are where the differences are. What you're looking for is secure document management that works the way you want to work. That means it should be flexible to your processes and be able to grow with you. Getting rid of your paper with a document management system like our eNetDocs is a simple, easy step that you can take to immediately improve efficiency and reduce expenses with no interruption to your business. So let's talk about a couple of other steps. Step 2, after getting a document management system in, we find is accounts payable automation. You may disagree with the order. That's step 2, and what I have later for step 3 don't really matter which order. You'll see that in a minute. But accounts payable is a critical part of any business. Accurately paying approved and validated invoices not only keeps the lights on, literally, but it also manages cash flow, strengthens business relationships, and can result in deeper discounts and/or larger rebates from your vendors. Rebates, not debates. This is what happens when I follow a script. Accounts payable is a crucial function that can either boost or hurt your financial health. It plays a vital role in the overall operations of the company. It can affect your market reputation. If you're paying invoices late, the terms you get from financial institutions, how well an audit goes, and more. Most distributors are dealing with a large volume of invoices, either in paper form or electronic. Most of invoices today are delivered electronically. Before you pay that invoice, your AP team has to verify that the info on the invoice is correct. It's a key part of the process. But it's also tedious and error prone when it's done manually. Errors in data entry are common in every AP department. Repeated hundreds of times per day, even the most careful human eye lacks the ability to guarantee accuracy. As a company scales, the problems only get worse with the volume of paperwork. Automating your accounts payable process is a smart way forward. An automated AP invoice processing system can dramatically reduce processing time with significantly better accuracy than a human. All that manual data entry can be eliminated, and all invoices are securely stored electronically, quickly, and easily retrievable when needed. In a nutshell, why do you want to automate AP? Increase speed and visibility, improved supplier relationships with on-time payments, optimizing opportunities for rebates and discounts. Eliminate low productivity expenses like error-driven data entry, reduce and prevent fraud, lower operational costs by eliminating paper and physical archiving. Again, I think that we should add in here, eliminate employee frustration with an age-old process. Integration with your digital document management system is also a key part of this, because the documents related to a given record in the ERP system may provide critical complementary information that would otherwise be lost among desk drawers, email inboxes, filing cabinets. Invoice copies are archived along with other corresponding documents that is related to any transaction that is quickly and easily available to permitted users from any location. We do offer 2 options for you to automate your AP invoice process with Profit 21 and integrate with eNetDocs. They're very different options, but both have value depending on your size and your overall goal. Let's walk through both of those solutions quickly. Let's start with Trapeze. We've been working with Trapeze for a number of years now and have quite a few customers that are utilizing this software. Trapeze uses advanced OCR and templates in their processing to process PO-based invoices only, and performs a 2-way match between the invoice and the purchase order that is generated in P21. In addition, Trapeze can also automate your PO acknowledgements, which is beneficial, especially with the current volatility around pricing and delivery. Invoices that are coming in through your email can be set to automatically forward into eNetDocs. Anything coming in through the postal service can be scanned into an incoming folder. Faxes can go directly into eNetDocs as well. The eNetDocs automation server looks for those invoices and automatically passes the invoices on to Trapeze. Trapeze does its job of recognizing and classifying the invoice layouts in order to accurately validate all the information on the invoice against the open purchase order. Trapeze validates line by line, doing both a horizontal and vertical validation of the invoice, comparing line numbers, quantities, unit price, extensions, item descriptions, unit of measure. If there are multiple pages to the invoice, Trapeze processes every page. If there are multiple invoices within the document, Trapeze breaks up each invoice and then processes them each individually. If Trapeze is unable to validate something on the invoice, or something does not validate, it will be flagged for human review. If there are no corrections to be made and the invoice matches the purchase order perfectly or within the tolerances you set up, it will automatically export into Profit 21. You can watch the screen in eNetDocs to see which invoices have been exported and which invoices require a human to take a look. Once that data is accurately extracted and validated, that data is outputted into files that Profit 21 imports through the scheduled import service. Our AP automation server is watching those files, grabs the data, automatically tags the documents in eNetDocs, and moves the invoice along with the workflow path to a process complete folder, tagging the invoice with data along the way. The invoice and the metadata, along with other documents related to the transaction, are fully searchable and quickly and easily retrievable to any permitted user from any location. We could then also close the loop and automatically link the documents related to the transaction back into your Profit 21 system. Trapeze is a good mechanism to get a productivity boost from your PO-based or trade invoices. It is a good product for small companies with simple AP processes and perhaps only one or two AP specialists working the documents. But if you're a larger company with a higher volume of invoices, including non-trade or expense invoices, maybe with more people involved in the process or more complicated processes, and you want more visibility into those processes, more features, functions, more analytics, any of those things, we have a solution that fits your needs. We have partnered with Esker as a more scalable option to improve the speed and accuracy of invoice processing for our customers. Esker's cloud solution automates every phase of AP invoicing, from the reception of the original document to the creation of an accounting entry in Profit 21, minimizing the manual touches. Esker's solution integrates with Profit 21 and will sync with the P21 database to enable a three-way matching, handling the purchase order, the invoice, and the receipt. Esker works with and processes any invoice type, both PO and non-PO invoices. Esker utilizes artificial intelligence to drive their data recognition, which can manage and analyze both structured and semi-structured invoice data. Esker's automated invoice data extraction uses machine learning as well to auto-learn based on user modifications. Deep learning technology can train itself as corrections are made. These corrections are shared amongst all users of the Esker on-demand platform. So if there's suddenly a new manufacturer that one of the Esker on-demand customers sees their invoice, it learns the process, and any of that suppliers, that manufacturer's distributors or customers who use Esker will benefit from that first-time learning. Let's take a look at the general flow for this. Invoices are automatically captured by Esker no matter how they arrive, whether they come by email, fax, US Postal Service, or even EDI. Invoice data is automatically matched with the corresponding PO lines and goods receipts so they can be automatically processed when there are no exceptions. If there are exceptions, Staff can quickly review and resolve exceptions from a single view. Invoices that require payment approvals can be automatically routed to the correct individual or group in charge. Processed invoices are entered into the P21 database and passed to eNetDocs along with the data and a direct link to the document back in Esker. And now a link will be created in Profit 21 as well, back to eNetDocs. The invoice, now in a process complete folder in eNetDocs, is tagged with the pertinent data, including the date the invoice was processed. Let's see. With the invoice in eNetDocs, as well as any other document related to the transaction, we can quickly and easily retrieve it and display it all together, closing the loop and automatically linking the invoice to the purchase order in Profit 21 if that's your desire. These are the different components that make up that Esker on-demand solution. ERP integration. So that's really specifically your Profit 21. Esker replicates data related to your vendors, purchase orders, inventory items, receipts, payment information, and a few other tables to facilitate the three-way match. Data that changes frequently, such as receipt information, can be updated multiple times per day, where less volatile data, vendor table, vendor addresses, they may be only updated nightly. Capture and routing technology, any way it is received is limitless. How you receive your invoice, I already mentioned that. Email, US Postal Service, does not matter. Most vendors, I believe, are sending via email through our, albeit small sample size within the industry, but in our case, it's above 95% of all invoices are delivered via email or EDI. Esker uses the information captured off the invoice to determine how or where to route those documents through the workflow that can include automatic verification and posting if no errors are found. Workflow, that can automate routing to the appropriate AP specialist. If you have a whole team, maybe certain vendors are handled by certain AP specialists, those documents get routed to the appropriate person based on workflow rules you set up. Or if there's a mismatch between the invoice and the receipt, or the invoice and the purchase order, based on the type of mismatch, you can generate different routing rules. Documents can be routed manually for things that are just a little different than the norm. Several key performance indicators and dashboards are provided to give you visibility into the solution, into what's happening a little more clearly than what you have today. Mobile application. Approvers can log into their phone and review approving required invoices or changes. They don't need to be at their desk anymore. And the supplier invoice portal allows suppliers to see real-time status of their invoices, including that payment information. Grant them access. You grant them access. It's a separate interface. They go in, they can see their invoices, and once an invoice is validated against the PO and matched with the goods receipt, it goes into P21 through the scheduled import service manager. A copy of that invoice is picked up by eNetDocs along with any metadata. When the payment information on the invoice gets sent to the supplier, eNetDocs grabs that. It's visible in the supplier portal, the invoice to the supplier, and your team will be able to see it within eNetDocs. Wow. So step 3, and this is the one I said could be in the opposite order. Step 2, step 3, customer service. No matter which solution is a better fit for you, whether you're a large company or a small company, you can see how AP automation benefits all members of the team. You can see how each member of the finance and accounting team will benefit. The CFO, financial executives, they have better cash planning, better visibility, and they can reduce operational costs. The AP managers, transparency and monitoring and efficiency improvement. Controllers have an auditable process, budget monitoring, compliance, and online archiving, et cetera, et cetera. And the AP specialist is spending about 50% less time, if not more, processing routine invoices. All their time is now spent on exception processing. This is where we get to step 3, customer service. Let's talk about the other step you can take, automating sales orders. Problem solvers, multitaskers, unsung heroes, customer service reps are a lot of things to a lot of people. But as much as they do to keep a business running smoothly, there's one role they should never be asked to fill: the office paper pusher and data enterer. Why? Printing orders, entering data, and tracking down documents doesn't serve anyone well. In fact, the more time CSRs spend on manual tasks, the less time they have for the task at hand, improving the customer experience. For those looking to empower their CSRs, a lot of stellar customer service, for those looking to empower their CSRs and provide stellar customer service, automating your order management is imperative. Okay. A manual environment is not cut out for crunch time situations. CSRs are often at the mercy of others in the department who could lose or misplace printed orders. Automated order processing solutions can facilitate routine tasks as well as provide a place for your customers to go for instant communication within your company, ensuring that you're there for them throughout the entire process. Some of the reasons to automate this area also include slow customer service and process time equals unhappy customers. Unhappy customers place fewer orders. Lack of oversight. Do you know how long it's taking? And employee frustration, which can lead to employee turnover. And in today's labor market, that's the last thing any of us needs. Customer engagement is a driving force behind business growth. If only you had the time and the resources for it. These days, customers flat out expect more in terms of support options. Live chat, social media, mobile functionality are channels that can enhance the customer experience and boost advocacy. Here's the dilemma. Traditional order management requires a lot of staff and resources to effectively manage incoming orders. Time or budget for engagement strategies is a tough sell. By digitally transforming the order management process via AI-driven automation, businesses can manage growing order volumes without adding staff, repurpose CSRs to more value-added tasks, enable mobile capabilities and support remote work environments, and engage customers through online self-service portal. So this is the same idea. Order reception, that was the same capture. Does not matter how the format they come in, email, fax, EDI, entered through a customer portal, where instead of a supplier portal, you can give your customers a portal to do data entry, to generate the sales orders. Data extraction, same thing. The same technology used to extract all the data out of the invoices is used to extract the data out of the sales orders. ERP integration. Again, we've got to compare it against your inventory to be sure that if they're ordering a desk, you actually sell a desk. Exception handling. Just like with the invoices, your CSRs are now focused on the exceptions, not the routine, not the mundane data entry. They asked for 2 widgets, you entered 2 widgets in the order and pressed save. Web and mobile ordering. The customer portal and mobile applications give both the customer and the sales staff the freedom to place and track orders wherever, whenever. analytics and an audit trail. Orders are 100% visible during processing. Tailored dashboards and metrics are used for facilitating daily tasks, monitoring performances, and planning and forecasting. And I already mentioned the customer portal. So those are the three big benefits we wanted to talk about today of digital transformation, but there's a couple of others. Empowering your employees. Creating a great customer experience requires fulfilling and encouraging environment for your staff. It's difficult for CSRs to deliver a positive experience to customers when they're busy with data entry or frustrated with the low value and unenjoyable manual aspects of their job. One of the most significant causes of turnover is burnout, which is rampant in many CSR teams. It's one of the top 10 reasons CSRs leave a company. Make their work more enjoyable with the automated solutions that minimize tedious tasks, elevate careers, empower your employees, and frees up time to focus on what they're there to do, to be helpful service to your customer. Simplify training. Today, even the process of training employees to learn your system has a significant impact on an organization's competitive advantage. We've been told it takes up to 6 months for a CSR to provide optimal customer service. New hires want it, customers expect it. Quicker onboarding creates value across the board. Fortunately, the intuitive nature of AI-powered automation makes onboarding a breeze. Not only are CSRs relieved of a data entry demand, previous unknowables, like if a product was discontinued or if delivery couldn't be met, for example, are automatically flushed out and presented to the CSR. The result is twofold. First, CSRs can be trained in a matter of weeks versus months, with more time to engage in actual customer service. Second, wooing and keeping new recruits is made easier thanks to the lack of tribal knowledge needed to process orders. Before we take questions, I wanted to leave you with this. No matter what steps you choose to take, and I do hope you choose to take some steps to improve your processing, one thing is for certain, the future is digital. Paper will be out of the picture. I hear you laughing. I'm sure there's plenty of people who've heard that we would be paperless by 2010 or 2008. There were lots of predictions. But it's happening today, at least in the accounts payable and sales order side. As I said earlier, we have a new normal, one that's increasingly technology and data driven, and paper-based processes are simply not capable. The overall lack of transparency, flexibility, and control in manual processes lead to cash being tied up in process inefficiencies, cash that could be used to bolster your bottom line and create a cushion for future business disruptions that may result from continued economic volatility. Consider this, the culture of work has been forever changed in the wake of the mass transitions to remote work. Not only is workplace flexibility vital for business continuity, it's now an expectation for many employees. Digital transformation will play a major role in future recruiting efforts as remote work policies are increasingly sought after and work-life balance is particularly important for younger recruits. Digital transformation is an investment in the workforce, especially as recruitment of talent has become more challenging. In many companies, the head of AP/AR has been in the same position for 30 years doing this the same way. When that person retires, you lose the talent that's been driving that department. If you take a step back and realize that these are repetitive tasks that can be automated, which helps you now fill that void, gives you more time to train employees and ultimately more time for the customer. Whoops, how did that jump to? We're here to help. We have the tools for you whether you're looking for automated document management, easy invoice matching and data reduction with eNetDocs and Trapeze, or more visibility into processes with more automation on all your B2B or B2C processes with eNetDocs and Esker. We can help. Any questions out there?
Thank you, Jerome. I have a couple of questions that came in. Once documents are stored, is there ability to retrieve them for bundling when sending them to a PDF or printer, for example, including them including an item drawing files with pick tickets and purchase orders?
Sure. So all the documents in our system are already PDFs, and you can bundle them together. We use the term merge. So when you do a search, you'd find all of them. You can either merge them into one document or just email them as individual documents attached to the one email. Really, it's how you'd prefer to work, whichever way you'd prefer to work.
All right, next question. Does the capability exist to create and access different versions of the same document? For example, revised purchase orders or sales orders?
So we do capture each different document as it comes out of Profit 21. So if your Profit 21 system, if you've updated the purchase order and comes out, when you retrieve the purchase order by that number, PO number, you'll see both. And the newest one is the most current one. So I think that answers your question. If not, follow up with me and I'll show you what I mean by that.
All right, when Esker is involved, what does the deployment look like? Is it different than Enlighten.net solution as a standalone deployment?
It does not. The implementation process is dramatically different. I guess technically the deployments are slightly different. With eNetDocs as a standalone, invoices come directly to eNetDocs first. At least that's how we envision it, and most of our customers use it. When you use Esker, the invoices go to Esker first, and then are passed off to us at the end. All other documents, whether they're your vendor packing list or purchase orders that you're scanning, work orders, etc., will come directly to eNetDocs first, just as before.
All right. Is there the ability to move stored documents between cloud environments for backup and archiving purposes?
Yeah, I just had a long conversation with a customer or a prospect about this yesterday. We have multiple options to handle this however you choose. So we can copy from our cloud to any sort of media that you want to ship to. We can have it automatically copied to your cloud. Really, the possibilities are endless, and only we haven't done all of them, so you'd have to talk to us about each individual one, but all are possible to copy between cloud and on-premise, cloud and cloud, on-premise and cloud. All of those would work.
All right. Are there more areas within normal P21 processing that Enlighten.net is looking to tackle?
We're investigating different tools. I'm not really ready to comment on what those things are yet, but we do have other things in the works.
All right. One that just came in, are document management and AP automation as separate modules?
Yes, in fact, they are. So the document eNetDocs as a standalone document management, you can use it as it is without AP automation, or you can use AP automation without document archiving and be stuck with invoices on the other end. And how do I still have your paper-based processes? As you can imagine, I wouldn't recommend that. Only your invoices are then electronic and digitized. Vendor packing slips, expenses, receipts, all sorts of other things are left in paper. But to answer your question, yes, they are separate modules.
All right, one more. When implementing in conjunction with Esker, would we need to buy a license for both products, or does Enlighten.net consolidate the licensure?
The purchasing would be, we consolidate based on we are doing the sales for both products. So you would have one point of contact for sales and frontline support. Technically speaking, in the back end, there are two different licenses, but it's presented as one consolidated solution to you.
All right. Have you ever encountered situations where you needed to keep documents in sync with other systems such as PLM or PIM?
I have not, but that is very interesting, and I would love to talk to whomever that is about that possibility.
All right. I don't believe any. Do you have anything else you want to? I think maybe one other question might be coming in. Let me double check. Oh, nope.
Nope,
Cue
they went away.
Jeopardy music. Do you have do you have any other items that you wanted to discuss?
No, I think the last thing I wanted to say was I wanted to thank Brad and you, Cindy, and the ESTES group for this event. It's been fantastic. And thank you all for bearing with me as I was not as prepared for this as someone else does their notes and script. And for the last 4 hours, I've been going through them and trying to make my own voice. And you can see spots where I didn't do it. I could hear it. I apologize for that, but thanks for your patience.